Hi, Lunatics Collective. This reading is for August the 21st, 2019. The messages may be for any sign, all signs. Thank you to those of you who do like this video, who subscribe to LunarticksTarot, who comment and share. All of your contributions are truly appreciated. Thank you for tips and donations to the channel. And if you are interested in a private session with me, just scroll down to the description box below where you can find prices, information, and links about that, as well as my email address, lunartickstarot@gmail.com. Okay, so far, for this LunarPull for the collective, we have the Four of Swords, the Four of Air. It's actually the Four of Feathers in this deck, the SpirtSong Tarot deck. Noted here as Sanctuary and Rest, I believe is the other term there. Yeah, Sanctuary and Rest. So this message is for those of you who are finding yourself in your own personal sanctuary today, somewhere where you can rest, maybe just a space, a mental, emotional space that's internal within your mind that you've reached. But a lot of you I see are taking time for that rest, for solemn contemplation and meditation, I presume for many of you. And if you aren't and you're experiencing a lot of stress, then the reading can be absolutely pointing you in that direction, recommending that rest. Again, that solitude, solemn contemplation, meditation. I really see a lot of time and space for meditation. And to recover, it looks like a lot of you have been really working yourself to the bone, so to speak, recently, and you just need some time to recharge, recover, maybe recharge from a lot of socializing that you've been doing. That's quite possible. You also have the High Priestess, intuition and sacred knowledge showing up for us. So some of you may be thinking about or interacting closely with a Piscean energy, a Taurian energy perhaps around this time. A lot of you are using this space of rest and meditation, this sanctuary-like space and time of rest and meditation to go within and tap into your own intuition, to listen to your own intuition. And whether you realize it or not, you are connecting with sacred knowledge there. Interesting. Your advice card shows up as the Ten of Fire. That's the 10 of Wands or Rods. In this deck, it is the 10 of Acorns. And noted as responsibility and dedication. So in the advice position, this is suggesting that you are currently nearing the end of a spiritual journey that is burdensome for you. Oftentimes that is because those types of spiritual journeys are journeys that we have to complete on our own. And so again, we want to be in this sanctuary-like space today. We want to be seeking time for solemn contemplation and meditation. So, as I always say, that's not to say that you can't listen to the advice of others, listen to the advice of authorities or experts on whatever you are mulling over in your mind. Listen to those that you trust, who you know love you and have your best interest at heart. It's not to say you can't, but the reading is to suggest that you do need time for solemn contemplation and meditation as well. And this really suggests that ultimately the answers are within. Your intuition is telling you the answer to any questions you have at this time, the answers to what it is you should channel your energy into next for a lot of you. and that you do have sacred knowledge within. Those answers that you will receive from your intuition, from your higher self, from within. It is your own knowledge of sacred knowledge, your own connection with that. And there's something about you retrieving and receiving the information that way that helps you to complete this spiritual and or creative journey that a lot of you have been on, that you're nearing completion on. It's the act of trusting that intuition, trusting that sacred knowledge from within, rather than listening to those around you, or even, as we said, experts and authorities on any particular topic that really breaks through the wall you're trying to break through, takes you to the next level or next step on what you're working on at this time. Maybe just in yourself, in your own self-development, your own consciousness's evolution, your individual consciousness's evolution at this time. There's something that about, in order to move forward from here, it's really important and paramount that you have that solemn contemplation and meditation, that you trust your own intuition and finish this journey the way that it really must be when it's this type of spiritual or creative journey. Listening to those answers, listening to yourself, trusting your own answers. As a piece of advice, this 10 of Acorns is also really urging and encouraging you to remain dedicated to those things that are your responsibility, that you have taken on as responsibilities. It may be burdensome, it may be too much. Sometimes when the 10 of Acorns shows up, it's telling us that we need to take a break so that we can return to that work that we are so dedicated to. Sometimes the most responsible decision is a short break when we feel overwhelmed, overloaded, overburdened, like we can't carry all of the weight, complete all of the tasks on our plate. Ultimately, as you move forward with this situation, we see that success and triumph is being blocked for some reason. There is a humbling lesson coming to be learned. For those of you that have trouble connecting to your intuition, listening to your own answers, trusting that there is sacred knowledge within you, making time and space for sanctuary, for rest, for solemn contemplation and meditation, I gather that humbling lesson, humbling loss, even possibly of some type, will be directly connected to those things, because they're things that you need to work on. Some of you are having trouble remaining optimistic at this time. You're needing rest because you're needing rest and meditation because you're needing new ideas for your business, your creation, your work, whatever you're most passionate about. A lot of you. Some of you are currently really missing a Leo, Aries, or Sagittarius energy with the King of Fire reversed. Possibly someone that you've just gravitated away from, likely actually in a work environment or a working collaboration, but of course it could be a partner of any kind, a significant connection for you of any kind. Perhaps you've just moved out of a home, away from certain energies. Others of you, you're just not, for that reason, those types of reasons or other reasons, you're just not feeling incredibly social at this time. You're not feeling like networking. And we do see optimism and innovation being blocked here. And I see a collaboration below that. So I really feel like a lot of you need to be moving into a necessary, if not playful, collaboration having to do with the work that you actually love to do. And yet, like I said, you're holding back on networking, on being influential over other people, being social, you're not feeling that energy or optimism that would go along with it. And as I said, innovation is blocked in connection with that as well. And ultimately, that is why that we see success and triumph blocked here in the near future. And it really is why part of you, at least, is calling for, maybe insisting on, this time of rest, creating this sanctuary-like space. Again, even if just in your own internal world and in your mind, so that you can have that sort of peaceful meditation time wherever you may be. So both things are necessary here. Solemn contemplation and meditation, where you only listen to your own voice and that sacred knowledge within, but also then networking and socializing and applying what you find in that sacred knowledge, through connecting to your own intuition, listening to your higher self, making time for solitude and that type of meditation in the quiet, alone, right? Apply that which you find there, the sacred knowledge you unearth there, to your collaborations, your efforts to network in the name of what it is that you feel passionately about, what it is that you're working on, whatever business you're connected to, or for some of you, trying to create. Some of you, it's energy, again, showing up of being an entrepreneur, and that energy being blocked, though, in this reading. It showed up in yesterday's reading, and I don't think the energy was blocked in yesterday's. We see it feeling blocked today, the success, the triumph being blocked. And it's likely a result of resisting this sanctuary, this rest. And I really keep receiving that some of you are just having trouble believing that there really is sacred knowledge buried in your own subconscious, or in the collective consciousness that you can connect to, that you can find it through meditation. And to that I say, have you really tried? Have you really looked? Most of the time, the people who don't believe in the benefits of, or the development connected to meditation, or those who don't believe in like this reading is saying, the sacred knowledge that you can find within yourself, they're often people who really haven't been able to make time for meditation to begin with, right? So if you're doubting those things a little bit, the reading is really suggesting that you just give it a try. And I would assume that it's almost interesting that that's coming through, because I would assume, in you being here, that you're someone who would like to take that advice, at least. So that's what I see today on the table. That's what I see blocking the success in the near future. It may be a humbling experience that some of you are just meant to have in order to move forward. It may be that humbling experience is part of this spiritual journey coming to some type of a conclusion, this cycle ending and allowing a new one to begin, right? It may have to do with that humbling experience. For others, that's something that can be avoided with this solemn contemplation and meditation, this hopefully willingness to listen to one's own intuition. And if you're not having trouble making time for the rest, then it's more having trouble then taking what you find within and applying it to your creation, your work, your business, your social interactions, and your networking. Again, probably in terms of, for the sake of collaborative efforts in very likely work that you do love to do. That's just what you need to do in order to be productive at this time. Even if you're not feeling particularly prepared, or like the most resourceful individual at present, you know what steps to take to move forward. You hear the clear advice and steps. It may not be entirely comfortable or exactly what you want to do, but if you want to move forward and start a new cycle rather than repeating one, this is the advice. These are the steps to move forward. Again, even if you don't feel entirely prepared or resourceful, just follow the steps and do listen to your intuition. You have to go within and listen to the sacred knowledge that you personally connect to. What you bring to this collaboration, what you bring to this creation, what you bring to this work, to your focus, is again directly connected to the actual act of you finding and trusting the sacred knowledge that you can personally, all on your own, connect to. You retrieving that and receiving that from some higher part of you. The energy you're going to channel into your work, your business, your collaborations, your networking, it will come from that act. It will change you to truly trust in that and start to look to you for answers. And knowing that is just as real as looking for answers in any other way. And ultimately more real, and ultimately eventually the only real way for you to search for knowledge, because your truth is different than everyone else's. Each individual's truth is different. So that's what I'll leave you with, Lunartics Collective. I hope that the needed insight was able to reach you. And if you didn't find the messages that you needed here today, I do hope that you find those messages, and I do hope that a LunarPull will resonate with you on a different day. So with that said, thank you again for all contributions to Lunartics Tarot, and I will post another LunarPull for us in just a little while.